Welcome back to the Company Man Rush Job Speedrun walkthrough. As promised, this is the conflict resolution trophy. I went back after I completed the game and I replayed research and development and got the turret to kill one of those one-hit whoopee cushion kind of farting guys. And so I just wanted to show that. But it's fairly easy. I mean, you might not even have to work at it to get that to work. So the video resumes right after finishing the gauntlet and getting that coin, and we're going to head to the left and go right into the boss fight. Now this boss fight is my least favorite thing about the game. I struggle with this boss every single time I come up against him. He's got this toilet bowl laser that he shoots with his plunger, and he will stop 3 times on the left, and I think it's 2, maybe even 3 times on the right. And he'll stop at various heights, and sometimes it's hard to get the timing right of when to jump so that you stay up before, and you don't fall down into the beam. Sometimes you're jumping into the beam when you're jumping up, sometimes you're falling because you jump too late. And then he will put 2 turrets up. So this is the first failed attempt you're going to see, and then I will show you my 7th attempt, which was successful. And you're going to definitely see me lose the battle here. So the idea is when he does drop down, you hit him twice, you jump over his plunger, and you hit him 3 more times. 1, 2, jump, 1, 2, 3, or 4 if you can get it, and then avoid the turret. He's going to put turrets up both times that you successfully damage him when he comes down to your level. And what would work best is if the turrets fired at the same rhythm, but unfortunately they're out of sync. So you have to manage getting over the laser and avoiding both turrets firing at different speeds. Well, not different speeds, but at different times. I find that if he's going to throw those smoke bombs, it's best to be on the one corner of the platform so that he will drop 3 of them and give you space to kind of hang out at the end. So here's my final attempt. All told, I probably spent less than 10 minutes replaying this fight 7 times. I did turn the game off and came back to it later, but I don't think that makes any difference. But I mean, it should be noted, I do like to notate that when talking about a speedrun, this does not need to be done in one sitting. In fact, I believe this run was played over the course of 3 or even 4 sessions. It's just a matter of when you come back into the game, does it continue? And you'll pick it up where you left off, and I guess it'll count the time properly. I feel like, I mean, because the last video was a full hour long, and we haven't even shown this fight yet, and this one is, I want to say probably 50 minutes of the rest of the game. I think the last 6, 7, maybe even 8 minutes of this video were going to be the credits and me showing you a little bit of the post-game, working on a couple extra trophies, and of course we had conflict resolution, which started this video with me getting the turret. About 14 seconds of extra video there as well. So the idea is, I would assume my actual playthrough and playtime, even with these 7 or 6 failed boss fight attempts, were still under 2 hours, but either way, it seems like they're a little lenient on the time. So keep that in mind when you're going for this. If it is your first time and you're struggling a few times with the boss fight, there, as you can see, a pretty pretty close to flawless run. I don't remember if I got a hit there and then regained the hit point back by defeating him or not. It's the only place, the boss fights are the only place where getting that hit point back isn't going to help you in the middle of a boss fight, because you don't get that hit point back until you beat the boss. So, and this is an unfortunate part of the story. They do actually take this story, into some places. This is a little bit of conspiracy, some big reveals about this water company, and then of course the chairman of the board makes you do some unfortunate things. But now that we've defeated Boba, you will see the payday trophy here, and there it is. And as always, we're just going to stop and check how many funds we have. If we can pick anything up, we do pick another hit point up. I believe one more hit point to go there. And a little bit more story here. But now that we've done what the chairman of the board told us to do in that last scene, now we're not going to get any free health kind of regenerations when we complete a level. We're no longer going to get a free cup of coffee at the end in the lobby, is what I'm meaning to say. Got a little tongue-tied there. Sorry about that. Alright, so here we are in marketing. This is the second to last level. And there's a couple enemies in here who end up proving to be a little more difficult for me. I think it's the first enemy we come up against. It's the marketing in this game, I guess they mean the art department and social media. People who deal with social media, advertising, and but there's a lot of painters and illustrators and stuff that they use. So, but that enemy there always seems to get the drop on me, no matter what. They've got a couple different attacks that I just can't read properly or avoid, or I just go a little crazy and just forget how to handle them. Here I made a mistake. In this level, there's a lot of just kind of open chasms and areas to go into with these TVs where they portal you and stuff. There's kind of different paths you can take, and so what I had done was I realized when I dropped down there I had missed my chance to get one of those 10-point coins, so we went ahead and let the enemy take our hit points away so we could replay that, because there's no way to get back up there once you fall down. There's a lot of these little TV portals. So here's the coin that I missed. A lot of these TV portals, and you don't really have to necessarily worry about which one to take. They all will lead you eventually to where you need to go. It's not like, yeah, I don't think you're gonna find yourself getting lost in this level, but you might miss a coin. I think the other coins, the other 10-point coins, are all kind of along your path. There's one there's a large section where you're just going through TV after TV, portaling, and somehow, I don't know how, but I always end up in a part of the game where the coin is. I think it's probably part of your path. I don't think you can miss it really as you're portaling through. I should mention that with that one enemy there, banging on the drum, he creates up to 2, maybe he actually can create 3, I can't remember, 2 or 3 dragons kind of dragon costumes that they would have in parades. And you can't actually hit the dragons themselves. You actually can only hit the guy banging the drum and the guy dishing out dislikes. Fairly easy enemy, but sometimes he can get a little high in the sky and hard to hit. But he's a lot easier to deal with than the accounting, the pie chart throwing guy, because those guys always seem to somehow get out of the way. This guy kind of stays there. He sips his coffee. He sits on his cloud. It's just sometimes difficult to hit him if he's too high. Here's another painter. There's spin attack. Yes, you're gonna go up and around, and later on there's like some trampolines and things. There's a small amount of puzzle aspect here to figure out. Okay, here's a portal. What do we do? Some of them, when you're in like an area like this, especially with that enemy, they might give you a portal or two right above you, and it's just mostly so you can avoid getting hit if you use the portals properly. And that was unfortunate too. The dislike guy was literally sitting in the portal, so I got a hit. But again, I really don't see it being any problematic thing with the portals and getting lost or end up not going where you want to. But again, you have to kind of get used to some of them, which is simply you have to know that you need to dash as soon as you come out of the portal in order to get where you're going. This is the first of two little kind of airships. With marketing, it's all head in the sky, pie in the sky. I don't know what you'd say, but they're all kind of thinking high, lofty thoughts, I guess. It's the point where they're literally floating in the sky. But this one, you're going to have one or two dislike guys, and then you're going to have probably about 4 or 5 of the painter enemy drop down. What I like to do is stay on this edge here and wait until they start kind of coming towards you, and then knock them off the ship. It'll give you a coin every time, but it won't give you a heart, I believe is how that works. Either way, I'd like to dispose of that enemy pretty quickly. And then there's the dislike. I'll let this play out. There's a couple more enemies that will show up soon enough, and I'll talk you through some of those. But I'll sign off for just a second here. No sense in gapping away at the enemies. Coming up on the mid-level boss here. Francesca, or Francesca, I guess. And her attack pattern is pretty much routine. She does ground stomp, and then she'll thrust forward towards you, and then she will send her selfie stick towards you. It's a lot like I think his name is Chad, the first level final boss. Except she does an extra ground pound on top of you. But pretty easy. As best you can, I would just jump and dash over her for when she thrusts towards you. And then when she kicks her selfie stick towards you, try to get behind her so you can get a maximum amount of hits without getting hit yourself when the selfie stick comes back. But it's pretty simple, and there's nothing else that she does. Pretty much the same 3 things to look out for over and over again. And there's the Just Business trophy. So this is a new enemy. Oh, and he actually killed me. Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 new enemies that are going to be introduced here in the second half. This one, for the most part, you can kind of just ignore these guys and run past them. There's a section towards the end of the level where there's like 3 or 4 of them in a row that jump at you, but they don't actually damage you. So I usually just run past them because honestly they're hard to hit. You know, they kind of avoid you and run away from you. And then they fire 3 arrows at you, but unless you're standing like directly behind them, you don't really get hit. This is the second airship, but this is just a little story area in between checkpoints. And now we're gonna introduce some little trampolines and I don't want to say, I mean, it might be the final new enemy. Kind of like the interns before, these little Instagram models, that's what I like to call them. They're encased in these spiky balls. They're one hit, but you can get damaged if you get too close to them while you're trying to hit them. Many times I'll suffer a hit point as I'm killing them. See there, just like that, because they explode as well. But they are good for regaining hit points if you don't walk into them. And there will be more and more on the screen as we move towards the end of the level. There's a couple points where you're jumping from trampoline to trampoline, and you have to get rid of like 6, 8 of them in your way as you move forward at a time, and it just keeps going like this. It just keeps going and going. So if you need them, if you need the hit points back, try to hit as many as you can. But if you can avoid them fully, you may as well just leave them alone. But they are going to be part of the boss fight and the final boss fight of the game. They're going to get thrown in there as well. Here's the dragons again that you can't actually hit. You have to hit the drummer in order to get rid of them. And the boss fight of this level is, his name's Barrett. He's like a giant monkey dude. He's a really big guy, and he's a sign spinner, which is really funny. But both times I fought him as I was capturing video, at least on this account, I actually defeated him too quickly both times, and you don't get to see his final attack pattern. In the final attack pattern that he does, if you don't defeat him in time, he actually has those Instagram models come down and attack you one at a time in kind of a diagonal pattern from left and right, kind of like forming an X. Unfortunately, I can't show it to you because it didn't happen in this run, so but just be aware when we get to that. This is what I was saying before about the portals. Sometimes they'll give you 2 portals just so you can try to use them against the enemies to kind of move around them. That is also kind of teaching you a little bit about the boss fight, because you're going to need to use the portals to get around Barrett when you fight him. See how this is kind of a little confusing. There's all sorts of levels, and some places you can't really get to yet. You see enemies above you, so obviously you're going to eventually get to them, and there we are. You don't want to fall down there because that'll hurt. Okay, this is what I was talking about as we start with the trampoline, the portals, and the Instagram models. A lot of jumping, a lot of taking your time to get rid of these things so they don't hurt you. The carbon copy is the best long-range attack to use on these kind of enemies. Fortunately, it doesn't take multiples. I don't think it takes like multiple of them out. If you fire a wave of emails, it only takes the first one that it hits out. Yeah. Kind of irritating how you have to take them all out, otherwise you get damage. And you even get damage when you do take them out. I didn't need to get all of them. I could have simply just jumped into the portal. It would have dropped me where I needed to go. This is the area where there's just so many portals, and maybe I take the same pattern every time, but somehow I always end up here. There's the other coin. There is no gauntlet in marketing, by the way. There's no, well, at least there's no, yeah, there is no gauntlet. Oops, shouldn't have gone through there. There is a gauntlet coming up in sales at Aeon Legal, but not here. And here's some more giant arrays of spiky Instagram models and trampolines. We are not done yet. There's still more. Here we go. So this is the area with the, I can't remember what the word is for half man, half horse. Either way, I usually just run past them because they don't actually do any damage. And there's a statue of Barrett. We'll be meeting him in just a minute. There's a checkpoint before the boss fight. And here's the door. So you're gonna have a tiny little cutscene, and then once you jump through the TV, you'll be able to start the boss fight. And so there's gonna be a couple TVs on either side of the area, and you can kind of dash under Barrett or use the TVs to get to the other side. Sometimes I accidentally portal as I'm using Carbon Copy. Carbon Copy is great for this one, for this fight, because you don't want to get too close to him. His hitbox is immense, and you want to move a little bit. Okay, here is where you have to pay attention to the colors of the portals. You want to get behind him, and you don't want to get close enough to him that you suffer a hit point. As you can see, I am still getting hit a little bit while I'm hitting his back because of the wind. It does push you into him. And I almost die here, but thanks to that invincibility for 5 seconds, we managed to get out, and he almost lands on us too. And there you go. That's actually a little tighter, and I actually was surprised we didn't enter into the second or the final phase of the boss fight, where those Instagram model balls come at you. So this is full stack employee. This is for getting all upgrades to your shooting ability, your long range attack, and this is the your last firing mode, I guess you could call it, that you get. So this is where you should be getting it, this trophy. When this game first came out, this trophy didn't happen until you like completed the game 2 or 3 times. And so that's been solved. I apologize. I actually had to wait for the energy to come back so I could use that weapon to hit them a couple times. Little boomerang method of shooting. And there's middle management for defeating Barrett. So just 3 more bosses to fight, and they're all pretty much in a row. And this is, I guess, the last time we'll be able to buy anything from the store. We're going to go into the next level, and then that's going to send us directly to the final boss fights after the level is completed and that boss is defeated. The next thing we're going to do is go directly into the final boss fights. So now is a good time to buy anything that you think you really need for those fights. If you think you need your final hit point, or if you don't have the regain 1 hit point for defeating an enemy, or if you don't have the 5 seconds of invincibility, all of those things are really good to have, because sales and legal is really irritating. The checkpoints are kind of few and far between, especially the final checkpoint. It's like half of the level is 1 checkpoint, and there's all these crushers here, and there's enemies that are pretty much invincible in certain states. The theme here is both legal and sales. So you have guys that turn into wolves, like werewolves, and attack you. And when they're this guy right here, if I didn't defeat him and kill him right away, he would turn into a werewolf. And they're kind of invincible. That was a bad idea. And of course, I do it like 3 times. They're kind of invincible when they're in werewolf mode. So you have to wait until they turn back into the little dude that whimpers there. These are, I guess they're supposed to be hackers or something. They change the gravity from upside down to right side up, and it is on a certain amount of time, so you want to time it out properly. These crushers are all throughout the level, so you want to make sure you are nowhere near them when you're falling. This is one of my least favorite enemies. Every enemy in this level is my least favorite, but that one banging the gavel, she creates file cabinets. Oh, and there's a werewolf, the Wolf of Wall Street, I guess. You can't defeat until it's a whimpering little dude. But she will create cabinets, and those cabinets will somehow be directly under you no matter where you are. See, this wolf is hurting me no matter where I am. And we're gonna come up soon on another one of my least favorite enemies. It's a vampire kind of enemy that it kind of becomes invisible and invincible when it's in shadow, and then it'll pop in just enough for you to get one hit on him, and then he'll throw like his cane down at you. So I definitely lose a couple hit points on some of these enemies. This guy right here, like, I can't hurt him now, but you'll see once you can see him, see the color in his design, that's when you can hit him. A lot of these enemies will get the better of you if you're not familiar with their attack patterns. And a lot of these crushers will also hurt you if you don't know where they're going to be. They all follow the same rhythms and times, but unfortunately, some of the parts of this level are so big you can't even tell, where you're going to get hit next. These usually fall in the right pattern. You want to get under all three of them without getting hit, because if you get hit, you'll have to start all the way to the right in front of the first spike, and then you want to do this so that you can clear all three sets of them in the opposite gravity. So if I could sneak up on that guy and get him in time, I think it'd be good, but unfortunately I gotta deal with both Cabinet Lady and the Wolf of Wall Street. I want to take him out as much as possible, but of course Cabinet Lady gets me again. It's just brutal. I think this level is probably one of the more profitable ones, which is kind of silly how you can't really go back into the store. Oh, that was a bad idea there. You should only take two, at maximum two of them at a time. Yeah, that's one of my kind of peeves about the game, is if you do get damage from any of the hazards, it will kind of teleport you back enough that it's kind of like, I mean, come on, I'll take the hit point, but don't make me do it all over again, This is super annoying. The timing on this anti-gravity is shorter than most of the other ones, and you also have to deal with the vampire. Yeah, combos, werewolves, vampire, and the Cabinet Lady really kind of gets annoying. You could spend the whole level just running away from these guys, but I like to defeat them as much as possible. There's another checkpoint. There is a trophy for letting an enemy get hit by the crusher. Those big gold spiky blocks. And we will use these blocks against the Wolf of Wall Street here in a little bit. Now, if you notice, the crusher went to the left, and just in time. I probably should have looked out for that. So this little briefcase guy, not too difficult to defeat. You just have to time it out. He shoots 3 clones towards you wherever you're standing, so you want to just move slightly out of the way each time, and then the 4th one you can actually hit. You can also hit the briefcase itself. So if it's not too high up in the air, I'd say go for the briefcase when you can. some of these anti-gravity. What I would do here is not use the anti-gravity. It's a lot easier to manage in between the crushers without having to worry about how long you have until the gravity goes back. Here, it's almost impossible to get into a position where you can actually hurt the guy, because he ends up going in places where you can't really go upside down. So I like to just keep trying to move forward and avoid getting hit. Here we're going to use the crushers against the wolf. I position myself in between these two, and there he goes, finally got hit. Suffered a hit point for it, but it was well worth it. There's another coin. There we go. I think I'll have to go back and double check that I didn't miss the 250 coins trophy. Alright. Here is the gauntlet, so we'll take a look at that in just a second here. Alright, so we're going to head towards the gauntlet. This is the gauntlet area right here, which if you weren't really paying attention, you would you pretty much miss it, and I definitely did miss it quite a few times when I first played this game. You have to hit, you gotta get the hacker to get your pathway through, and then the gauntlet area is really small. It's a pretty tight area, and you have, I think it's like 7 enemies. We had, I think, was that 2 or 3 already? You got these 2. And you're gonna have at least one more set of 2 of the briefcase guys. And in such a tight spot, you know, you gotta be careful. You're gonna definitely get hit. Of course, it's way too high to hit the briefcase, so we're gonna just move ever so slightly so we can take care of him. There's legal dispute. And then the coin is right down here, so just in case you're moving a little too fast, make sure you don't miss it. You can go back. The hacker that let us get into that area is right above us right here. It's literally just a few feet to the right from where we dropped down there. But now we're kind of moving under it all, so it's kind of hard to show you at this point, but and while we're going through this little area with the 2 briefcase guys and the hackers, I did go back and look. I didn't get minimum wage for collecting 250 coins until I started my replay of the game, which is ridiculous, because in order to buy all of the items in the coffee shop, you need 790 coins. I have all but, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 of those items purchased. So I have at least, I would say, 500 to probably more than 600 coins collected already and spent. And the fact that I don't get the 250 coin trophy until replaying the first level, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, I had to go double check that, because I thought for some reason I got 250 coins during marketing, but nope. I went back and looked, and the trophy didn't pop until my replay. So I will put that at the end of this video, so you can see that. And we're also going to look I'm going to show you a couple things. Once the boss fights are done and the credits roll, we're going to just take a look at how to go back into the game to keep earning coins so you can buy the last of the items in the coffee shop for Coffee Addict, as well as Salaryman. I'll kind of explain how that works once we get there. There is a coin on the right here, so we don't want to miss that. Again, you know, if you miss any of these 10 coin or 10 point coins, it's not going to hurt any of the trophies you're working on. It's just 10 less coins you're going to get. Watch for these. This crusher is kind of, a lot of these crushers in this area are really hard to manage. It's low enough that it's going to actually hit you if you're standing under it on that platform. And we're getting near the end here. This is an area that I definitely had to do quite a few times. Not in this run. I think I did it on my first run here. But you have to time it out, and especially, is it this set of crushers? It is, yeah. You have to make sure that you hit this so that you can go past the one that's going left and right here, and then over these two. And once you get here, you're not gonna be able to make him do the anti-gravity twice, you know. So you really have to time it out. It is a pain in the butt. I wonder if I do have to end up doing this over again. Because what absolutely stinks is, again, this is the final checkpoint, and there's so much time that we spent doing all this stuff. I should have hit him there. Oh, I do die. Oh no. Okay, so you're gonna see me have to redo a lot of the stuff. There is where the gauntlet is. Yeah, I mean, and this was a normal occurrence when I played this level. As frustrating as it is. But I'm just going to run through it. I'm not going to worry too much about a lot of the enemies. But you also don't want to give up too many hits, because I don't want to redo the whole area again, especially during a speed run. I usually go for the briefcase guy because he's pretty easy to take down. Did you get his pattern? And wait for the crusher to come back before you get this guy to drop you back to normal gravity. Because you want him to put you back up, because you're not going to be able to jump that on your own. And we're going to avoid the vampire and try to avoid the briefcases. So annoying. Yeah, that was the most frustrating thing, is usually these enemies with the one hit recovery, they'll get like 2 hits on me each time, or they'll hit me again after I've already defeated them, so I don't get that point regeneration. I'm trying to get him to get hit by the crusher again, but I'll take him out on my own if necessary. That guy always seems to just kind of hang out and let you attack him. Up and try to avoid the crusher. That's the problem. It's hard to see from the other side of the room, or down at the bottom of the room. I think we make it. Yeah, we made it. Gonna wait for the crusher to come over have to suffer another hit. Alright, and we're actually back here with all of the gravity, messing with gravity and dealing with crushers. So it wasn't that much, but it feels like such a pain in the butt when you have to replay that. Try it again. Alright, and we made it. That's the hardest part right there. After that, pop up, and it's just this last one. You can generally clear the rest of your upward path with that last guy. And then we're heading to the boss fight. And this boss fight is with William, the guy that's been kind of taunting us the whole game, the guy that gave us the keyboard in the beginning, I believe, and has been visiting us and getting us in trouble and also moving us along. His attacks are pretty much the same pattern. The only problem is this kind of portaling in and thrusting attack. He's definitely gotten me a couple times where he just shows up in the middle and he's too close for me to be able to dash away from him. And this attack here, it's best if you stand behind him and jump and dash over the wolf when he shows up. That way you can still get your attacks on William. His two arm rockets, pretty hard to avoid. You can, if you can manage it, you can get his rockets to hit him and they'll damage him. See, there you go, he kind of didn't follow the same rhythm. Those little 3 shots that he sends out. Fairly easy to avoid, but I'm sure I probably got hit by it in this video. I wait for him to create this cabinet, jump up on it. I found that I can't remember what the email blast, I think it is called email blast. That's usually the best one. If you send that out, that'll usually get a couple hits on him. Oh, I failed this one. Okay. I didn't realize I failed it once. I hope it's just once. If it's not more than once, one failure, then I'll cut one out. But yeah, see, that worked a lot better. And not get hit. Behind him. And try to find a good rhythm. Still using the boomerang, which I didn't really want to use. That's fine. Get one of his rockets to hit him. And then just keep running to the corners. Back and forth. Going like a circular path there when he's throwing the wolf at you. And a little bit more story. We don't end up getting a final attack on him. And with a good reason. And here's a little bit more story. They give us access to the CEO's suite. And we are off for the final boss fights. There's punch card for defeating William. And here is the CEO fight. So The CEO has, I feel like it's 4 or 5 different attacks. The first one he'll do is he'll kind of pop in and do kind of a hatchet attack. Just kind of jump out of the way. Then this one, he drags the hatchet down the floor towards you for about half of the length of the room. Then when he's at the corner of the room, he does this spinning attack. Then for some reason, he pops out a gold bullet shooting gun. Usually he does that at both corners, and if you stay in the middle of the room, you are going to probably get hit with at least one bullet, so I like to move to the corner where he's going to drop down as soon as I know that he's doing that, and then that way you can hopefully avoid getting hit. There he is on the other side doing the same thing. So jump up and go past that attack, and then jump away and back in to get your attacks on any of those kind of axe attacks, those hatchet attacks. And then William shows up and gives us some help, and I think we get 2 hit points back for that one. And then here's the final boss fight. You thought you were done fighting bosses? Well, guess what? You get to fight the actual machine. Whatever the machine is. Well, he's a kind of Cthulhu tentacle looking dude with one eye. So he fires 3 lasers. So as long as you keep moving, you won't get hit. But of course I got hit just to show you how that works. Then you want to get out of the way. He'll do a ground pound, which will kind of cause an area of effect. And then you'll give you a chance to get a hit on him. I like to use the email blast. Then you want to get back on the platform because he's going to do another AoE attack. And then the actual main course of the boss fight, I guess you could call it, is this. He's going to be throwing interns and these Instagram models at you. The great thing is with our health regen, any intern or Instagram model bubble spiky thing you hit will give you a hit point back. And sometimes you can hang out on this platform and let an intern or 2 drop down on top of you. Like here I could hit that, and I do, and I get a hit point back. And also actually hits the boss. So it may take you 1 or 2 tries, but there is a pretty decent rhythm you can fall into here where you're not getting hit by anything. The interns do drop from time to time, so it's possible they may drop from above and hit you regardless of your timing. But it's a pretty decent pattern of events that you can pretty much get used to doing. And of course you do always have the ability to regain some hit points if you need them. You want to hit the area where the eye is. And then you're done. So here's Hostile Takeover for defeating the CEO. I'm going to see a whole bunch of trophies here. Here's Office Hours for defeating the game in under 7 hours. Kind of like a usual work day. Here's Half Day for defeating, for beating the game in under 4 hours. And here's Rush Job for defeating the game in under 2 hours. Again, that's the trophy videos that the PS5 makes. And that shows you all the ones that I got there for playing this playthrough here. And then the credits are going to start to roll. So next, I'm going to show you what to do in order to get the last 200 or 300 coins you're going to need to buy everything in the store. Basically, once the credits are done, it'll bring you up to this screen, hit continue, then it's going to load you back into the beginning of the CEO fight. Hit the pause button and go to the lobby, and that's going to bring you down to the lobby. So keep in mind, 790 coins is what you need to spend in total. We have one more hit point to buy at 70, all 3 energies to buy at 70 each, 210 right there, 85 for the quicker regen of your energy, and then we just spent $100 on the melee projectile ability. So 365 more coins to collect, I believe, is what we landed on there. Here's minimum wage that I got playing the second level. I started the very beginning. I played customer service, then I played human resources, and only then does the game say I've earned 250 coins after earning obviously more than 450 or whatever in the first run of the game. And yep, so the coin trophy is not working out very well. That was just a quick representation of where I was at the end of my second replay of marketing. I had earned 130 coins, and then this is just showing you the Coffee Addict and the Salaryman trophies here. So again, I played through the entire game. At the end of marketing, I came here, I bought the last item that I needed. Keep in mind, Salaryman will only pop if you've already beaten the game. If you do all of this before fighting the CEO in the machine, you will get Salaryman after you finally defeat those bosses, after you purchase everything in the store. All right, hope that makes sense. Hope this helped. Thanks. Take care. See you next time.